Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, we introduce you to an owl that has a very famous relative. Plus, we stand back and let the pros do the work as we learn more about these monitors who apparently like to be swaddled.
Down.
And trainer Sean Hill works with our Zoe, breaking down barriers to give her the best life. We also talk with our vet, Dr. Greiner, about all important home care remedies for your pets. Are they safe? This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. We'd like to introduce you to an owl named Leonard, also known as Hootie. Don't let his mesmerizing orange eyes fool you. He is often called a silent killer for his stealth hunting capabilities. Leonard also has a pretty famous relative, according to his owner. Take a look. Troy, this is a big buddy that you brought to us.
Yes.
And his name is Leonard.
Yep.
And what does Leonard do?
Leonard does this all day pretty much. He has a couple different places in my house. During the summer it's so hot, I like to keep him inside. So he gets freedom to fly around to whatever perch he wants. He's a clean bird, contrary. And he thinks he's a little famous because they use his cousin in the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. So what type of owl is he?
This is a male Eurasian Eagle Owl. All of Europe and Asia, and sometimes found as far up as the North Pole. Nope, you're not going there. That is a stuffed toy, you don't eat it. And so anything that looks like a stuffed toy, he wants to kill, just for the record. He's an owl, it won't change, can't change him.
They're considered birds of prey.
Yes, ma'am. Just like ours, here in America.
And the eyesight?
Amazing. Let's give you a little history on the eyes. You see the owls look around a lot with their head, that's kind of freaky, and everybody likes to see, they go, ew, kids freak out about it. And I tell the kids, you only be able to do it all the way once. So
That's for sure.
His eyeballs cannot move. They are stuck in his skull. Our eyeballs fluctuate back and forth, up and down. His are one direction, like wearing binoculars. So he has to move his head everywhere. You'll also see him what looks like they're dancing when they move their head back and forth. What they're doing is they're distancing themselves. So it's basically they're learning their perception and how far away they are from something, and it's pretty cool. You're not going down there. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that today. This is show-off time. Remember, you're a movie star.
I have such a natural curiosity towards emotions. Does he feel any emotions? Does he realize that we're here, we're being safe for him?
He knows he's okay now. Owls by nature are pretty much a solitary animal. So they aren't like loving to be around other owls unless it be a girl, and even then she'll get tired of him and probably try to kill him, probably. And so at the end of the day, they're very solitary. So I've seen his emotion from, hey, this is a good meal, or I'm really mad today and don't bother me. So he is accustomed a lot more to touch than a lot of the birds of prey that we've worked with before, because I do it a lot. Now he's showing you what he's gonna do. He's gonna try to flap. You're gonna show him how you do it. You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. We have what's known as jesses on the bottom of his feet when we film. For the safety of himself, you have windows, and you. Yes. Kind of like when you take your dog in public or something like that. But Leonard is pretty lazy, but we make him fly a few times a week. And the reason I say make him is he won't. He won't unless you make him.
So he's very complacent.
Yeah, if you handed him a remote and a bowl of popcorn, he'd never leave. But with that being said, when we feed him, we station him across his enclosure. He has a big enclosure, or we take him inside and we fly him and we put his food on one of our gloves or a perch, and we fly. As you've talked to Lewis before when he was here, he talked about the training. And so we want to do that with them. A lot of people go, oh, he's chained. He's not chained, it's a leash. They don't wear this all the time. Only when he's being a movie star. Don't do it, you're okay. And he's still a young bird. He's still about 2 years old, so he's still got a little bit of learning to do. He's still got you see that? Yeah. Where are you going? There's nowhere, those are just big vents. And so we do that, and we keep him, and we do a lot with him. He likes to watch TV with us. We keep him really healthy. You can see by his feathers. We do not cut their wings. None of that stuff's cut. And you can't hear him fly. When he takes off across the room, you can't even hear it. He has the serrated blade, so it's the silent killer is what they're called. Because they can fly right in on something backwards, and that's it. They never see him coming or hear him.
Now, is he a Florida bird or a bird that can be kept in Florida?
Yes, these birds can be kept in Florida. If you get the licensing to possess one of these owls, you cannot have an owl or bird of prey in the United States that is migratorial. These birds are not migratorial to the United States. They're a European Asian animal, so Eurasia. And so you're allowed to possess these. And these make great ambassadors for its cousin, the great horned owl, and any other owls that would be here. What are you doing? Did you want to show your wings off? And he has right now about a 4-foot wingspan, so it's pretty big when he gets going. So a lot of people think he looks really huge. He's just about 4.5 pounds.
He's all feather.
Can you want to show them? Can you show them the pretty long legs you have? Let's show her. Let's show her.
Oh, yes.
Can you see his pretty long legs?
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at that. Look at those pretty long legs. So his name is Leonard, but he has a nickname. I call him Hootie because at night he likes to get a little hootie, obviously. So we Hootie, and then they thought Hootie and the Blowfish, but it was really just Hootie.
Now, is he vital to our ecosystem?
Owls are vital to our ecosystem, yes. Owls like him that are migratorial to Florida or live here, native species, are very. They are rodent population. They control different areas. They come in and out of certain parts of the ecosystem where it's really valuable to have any bird of prey. Even the buzzards, they eat the roadkill that the other birds won't eat. So yes, these birds of prey are very critical in our ecosystem, and I hope we do our best to keep protecting them.
Well, he certainly is a beauty, and those golden, golden eyes are just mesmerizing. So we thank you, Troy.
We love coming out and seeing you guys, and we appreciate you having us.
The Eurasian Eagle Owl is the largest owl species in the world. They're even known to capture prey that can be up to 4 times their own weight. Now we head to Sarasota Jungle Gardens for our next encounter. We meet some monitors who had a rather intimidating look, but deep down, they just want to be swaddled like babies. Okay, so who do we have here?
This is Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
And
he is a
white-throated monitor. And this one is Miles Davis, and he is a black-throated monitor. So if you guys are looking at them real quick, they look almost identical, and that's because these guys are, you got it? They are subspecies of one another. So you gonna let them get comfortable first? Let them get comfortable.
Well,
they like
hi
to
there.
bask like a tree. You got him?
Totally normal.
Okay, so
Notice where
let him
I'm
get
standing.
comfortable. He wants to switch over. So let him switch over. There you go. So over here, you want to hop in the middle, Marsh?
Sure. Okay.
You okay? All right, guys. So over here, we have 2 of our big monitors. We use part of our education program. They're also held back here in holding, but these guys come out every single day. They go for walks. They also go in for soaks and stuff like that. So over here, we have Freddie Mercury, and he was named after, obviously, Freddie Mercury, and he's a white-throated monitor. So these guys are actually related. They're actually what's called different subspecies of monitors, and they're found throughout Africa. So I don't know if you noticed, too, one cool thing about them, if you take a look, is that they will flick their tongues out. And that's actually like a snake. So look over here. Yep, there's like a Miles. So that tongue flicking is a Jacob's organ, just like a snake does. So what he's doing is flicking that tongue out, and he's getting little molecules in the air. So if she had, not to be R-rated, but she had a hamburger this morning and she's passing gas, he will be able to taste those molecules on her clothes.
No kidding.
Or on, yeah, that's how that works. So in the wild, they use that tongue to help locate food. So if he wants to have snails, but he wants the snake, he will look for a snake using his tongue, and he will use his tongue as well.
Now, how much does he weigh? Because
he's about 50 pounds, and these guys are 50 pounds and very, very squirmy. So they kind of calm down once you get in a position. So if you look at Freddie over here, Freddie's found a position that he's happy in, and we're waiting for Miles. Miles just wants to get comfortable, so as soon as he gets comfortable, let me see, you got him? As soon as Miles gets comfortable, there he goes.
He needs swaddle.
Yeah, pretty much that's what they want. They're going to be swaddled like that, so.
And I see a lot of skin coming off.
Correct. So unlike snakes, these guys do not shed in one piece. They actually generally shed throughout the year. So if you look, they don't shed. So a snake will shed one whole piece. These guys will shed off in little itty bitty pieces. And Marsh, I don't know if you want to grab that. You can actually feel that, and you can kind of pull on it gently. And you see how it's not coming off quite yet?
Well,
Some
it
parts
was a
aren't.
little bit of a tug.
Yeah, so this part here is not ready. So the body, just like our skin sheds in pieces, these guys shed in pieces as well. There's a lot bigger pieces than we shed.
All right. Now, you mentioned walking. Really?
Yeah, we will put these guys in a harness and we'll take them on the grass. Yeah, if you want, you put them on the ground real quick. So I think she doesn't want to hold them anymore. So
We can all go there.
So you can actually see how he kind of walks, and that's what we do. We put him on a harness, and we let these guys kind of get some exercise. Because the holding pens for them are just that. They're holding pens. They're just to be kept in there. And if you guys are taking a look too, you guys also notice they have these massive, massive claws. And it's because in Africa, these guys feed on everything. They feed on crickets, they feed on snakes. They'll even feed on cobras in the wild. They'll grab a cobra and they'll thrash it until the cobra passes away. And they also have these nails, which allow them to dig up stuff. So if they come around using the tongue and they smell a snake in a burrow, they'll be able to take that tongue and find it.
Now he's digging in here. Yeah. Now, do they climb?
They do climb, yeah.
Woo!
So we can actually put him down
I
here.
felt that tail.
Yeah, we'll put him down over here. Yeah, on the table. He's fine there. A little quarantine. There you go, guys. They're really interesting species to watch in the wild and watch their behavior, and they're pretty active too. Now, this is actually another animal that you will find in the pet trade. It's another example of animals that you really should know what you're doing. Any lizard this size, you really should have special training and actually dietary understanding. Being in my background, like I said, going veterinary medicine, we see them all the time for obesity because people just feed them rats, and they forget in the wild, rats are only part of their diet. They're feeding on snakes, they're feeding on fish, they're feeding on everything else.
What is the life expectancy of these?
So these guys can be quite long-lived. It all goes back to diet and setup. So like I said, quite often we'll see these guys coming into lots of people calling us or in practice I work with. They'll be coming in because they're sick. And 90% of the time it's secondary to dietary issues. Just like people, nutrition is the key to health.
Sure.
So these guys in the wild are not rat eaters. But people in captivity, they go to what's easier to feed the animals, what's readily more available. And it always ends up being cat food, dog food, and rats. But yeah, remember in the wild, a big portion of their diet is not that. It's insects, it's roaches, it's spiders, it's mollusks and different things like that, including fish. So their entire day they're running around, they're hunting stuff down, they're chasing things and whatnot.
Well, he certainly is a force to reckon with. I have to say, taking a monitor like that for a walk, that would be quite a thrill. But I think I'll stick to dogs. Coming up next, meet our Zoe. She was found running the streets of Sarasota. We can't wait to show you the progress that she's made.
You're doing good today.
Stick around. Animal Outtakes will be back after the break.
I think something happened to my family. I'm scared and lonely. What's going to happen to me now?
Don't worry, Sonny. Our loving staff at Donte's Den will take care of all your pet needs for the rest of your life. A warm bed, toys, great food, walking, and swimming is all at your paw tips. And if you get sick, there is even a hospital and medical staff to help you get well. Donte's Den, continuing the love.
Welcome back. Here at Donte's Den Foundation, we often have dogs brought to us from all walks of life, and we do everything we can to break down any barriers the dogs may have. This week, we introduce you to Zoe. Trainer Sean Hill has been working with her, hoping to give her another chance at living her best life.
This is Miss Zoe. She's a year-old German Shepherd, mix. And she's a happy girl, loves to play. She was found in a culvert on the side of the road. Donte's was called because she was running back and forth across the street, right girl? And they rescued her, and now she is one of Marcia's babies. She did not want to be on a leash at all in the beginning. So in the beginning, I would put her on a leash, and Miss Zoe would fight me, do somersaults, do twists, and do turns. She was a free spirit, and she wanted to remain a free spirit. So now she's gotten used to the leash, and she likes to do circles around the cabinets. Yeah, she's a shepherd mix, and you'll hear her teeth snap every once in a while, so I think it's shepherd and snapping turtle, because she likes to, you can just hear this little bits every once in a while when she talks. She clatters her teeth together. With Zoe, it was just, she is treat driven, and since she's so young, we switch in between treats and praise with Zoe quite a bit, right? Yep. Sit. Oh, good girl. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Okay. Wait. For me, it's the mental health of the dog. My mental health, her mental health. We actually work well together, and I think, and it's my opinion, she lowers my stress level when she works well, and I lower her stress level when I command her well. So it's a yin and yang mix. She knows more than I do, and she lets me know on a regular basis. Oh, girl, here. Sit. Look at that. Look at you showing off, huh? Look at you showing off. It's a good girl. It's my girl. Okay. You want to go outside? Okay, we'll go outside. Watching the number of dogs that we've had adopted out, a lot of it had to do with their training and the dogs being great dogs on top of that. Marcia picks great dogs. We train them up, and the people are so happy with them. I'm only a part-time buddy, so they need a permanent, forever home for somebody to love them more than the amount of time that we love them here. Oh, girl. Just a happy dog, huh? It's a good girl.
That's my girl. For more information on the important programs that we have here at Donte's Den Foundation, you can visit our website, dontesden.org. We'll be right back. Now on to our pet of the week, with a few things to think about before you try and make this cute little lizard part of the family.
This is a Cuban false chameleon. He is, what people think is that he's a chameleon, but he's actually in the anole family. So he's just kind of like your everyday lizard, but he does change from this coloration to all pale white. They are super, super friendly. They love to be held. He only gets about twice the size that he is right now. So pretty small setup. He could pretty much have something about this size. They do need lots of humidity and moisture. And they also don't understand how to drink out of a water dish. So either you have to have kind of a drip plant type setup, or just mist the cage down and they drink off of from the droplets that are dropping down. They live about 20 to 30 years, and they basically, like a chameleon, they use their surroundings to blend in, but unfortunately, he can only change so much. So he has to kind of blend and adapt to his surroundings. You have to have a basking light and a UVB light to mimic the sunlight and then to give them their heat. And then about probably a 20-gallon tank. They do eat crickets and the discoid roaches as well, but pretty much kind of any insect. Oh, and you're a snail eater too. Yeah, as you're looking at me. The problem is not doing enough research People come in thinking that you can just get an animal and you don't have to handle or you don't have to create the best setup for it. And the problem is it's the living thing. You have to think kind of like yourself. It's something like, how would you feel if somebody shoved you into a cage and it's not where you're properly used to or where you're properly supposed to be housed, and then just left you there. So we try to educate and be as knowledgeable as possible to let people know, you need all of this for these animals so that they can have the best care.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're here with Dr. Gregg Greiner, who is going to tell us about home remedies. Over the years, he has mentioned certain products that you can use for your canines. And so we thought we'd catch up with him today and give us a list.
Hi, Marcia. I hope this finds you well. Probably one of the most common things that I run into is diarrhea with dogs. And Pepto-Bismol has been my friend for many years. It works really well on dogs. Not so much in cats. Plus in cats, it's very difficult to get it down the hatch. And pretty much everything I'm going to say applies more to dogs than cats. Cats don't tolerate a lot of our medications. In particular, Tylenol. Do not ever give Tylenol to a cat. It's very toxic for them. Aspirin also, when I was first in practice, we used a lot of aspirin in dogs because that's about all we had for an anti-inflammatory. And as it turns out, it causes microscopic ulcerations in dogs. Within about 2 weeks, the incidence is 100%. So aspirin is now out. And so consult your veterinarian if you think your dog needs an anti-inflammatory. We have a bunch of wonderful ones now, but home remedies for that now are kind of out. The other thing that we see a lot of in dogs is my dog just ate something stupid. And so in order to, especially things like rat poison, if we can get that out within a few minutes, they're going to be okay. Within 20 minutes, they've absorbed it pretty well, and they may really be in trouble as far as their coagulation. So hydrogen peroxide is our friend for that. Normally about 1 tablespoon, and within 5 minutes, they are vomiting. Then in order to stop vomiting, we go the opposite direction. And again, the Pepto-Bismol coats the stomach very nicely. But burnt toast is our friend. Preferably whole wheat toast. The burning it is to make some activated charcoal, which actually helps to absorb toxins from the intestinal tract. And then the fiber helps to push things on through. So if they've eaten something moderately stupid, very often we get them to push that on through, little bits of bone and that type of thing. Obviously, if they've eaten something bigger, cloth, socks, that type of thing, we would like them to vomit that up. If they can't, then it's time to get into your veterinarian.
We had a client come in here recently obviously in a panic, and they had been washing their floors, and they had a bucket, and of course the bucket had warm water, but it also had some cleaning solution in, and the dog thought, boy, this is a good water bowl. So on something like that, is that something that can be taken care of on the home front, or do we pick the dog up and rush it to the vet?
Kind of depends on what they've swallowed. If it's something that is very acidic, it may have burned the esophagus on the way down. We don't want to make them vomit and then burn the esophagus again on the way up. And so that is definitely something that you should contact your veterinarian. That's probably not a home remedy situation. Let's probably get them in to see the vet pretty quick. But for injuries, just sprains and strains and that type of thing, just say we treat them just like a person. If it's an acute injury, we like ice, cold packs initially. That is to decrease the circulation to that area so that you don't get swelling. And then after the first 24 hours, we switch and we go to warm compresses, and that's to stimulate circulation to the area to try to get the healing going.
Now, you have mentioned from time to time products which can be used, for example, after a bath for the dogs. And that's another thing we need to just talk about real quickly. How often should you be bathing your dog, assuming that they're not playing in mud every day? And then what products can we use, which are human products, to make our dogs more comfortable? And in some cases, fluffy.
One of my favorites is Avon Skin So Soft. It's also a good insect repellent, particularly mosquitoes and flies. Nothing repels ticks that we know of at this point, but Avon Skin So Soft is our friend, but a very, very light solution, about a tablespoon and a pint of water. And I use that as an after bath on my dogs, just pour it on there and rub it in. My dogs get bathed probably every 6 weeks or so. They've got a pretty clean lifestyle, but particularly if they're bathed very frequently, then it's more important to use something that's moisturizing because you're washing all the oil out of their coat. And if you need to, you can actually use it as a spritz every day. Just put a little plant mister, shake it up good, and give them a spritzing down and rub it in their coat. And the idea is not so much to add oil to their coat, because dogs make a lot of oil on their own. It's to add water to the coat, and the oil is there to form a thin film over it so it has a chance to kind of soak in for them.
So we thank you once again for this very, very valuable information, and we'll see you soon.
My pleasure. Talk to you later.
We hope you've had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with some more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
Good grip. Good job. Against the tree line.
Does he have a preference for weather?
Nighttime.
Night.
If it rains, he'll stand in it. Loves the shower.
And you're not worried about getting bit?